Hey guys, let's start prepping the sermon series called Stressed. Now we're going to release this series for March, but it's actually starting on February 28th. So it'll be a 4-week series. A special shout out to Michael Maynard, pastor out there at Ordinary Faith in Wyoming. He's the one who came up with the original concept of this series. In fact, he'll probably be contributing some related content, some related videos for this. But let's go ahead and take a look at week number 1. Now, just a reminder, the best way to find this sermon series so you can start prepping for it is just to go to the very bottom menu and click on schedule because these lessons aren't yet published. So again, we're going to start here at the end of February, so week 4 in February. And this first week of this series is called The Pros and Cons of Stress. Now, I'll let you go ahead and read this and watch the videos that we'll have up here real soon on your own, but let me give you a real quick summary of where we're going. This is the setup. It's sort of the intro lesson for the entire series. We're going to be using the story from 2 Chronicles, the story of Jehoshaphat when he was terrified by the news that people were coming up against him. So that's kind of the idea of being stressed and filled with anxiety. Now you'll notice we've written this article a little bit differently. I've got the talking points. It flows a little bit more like an article. I've got the talking points here in bold, so each one of these will have a slide. So the first point is that followers of God have a fundamental edge when it comes to dealing with stress. So when I talk about this, I'm going to be talking not just to the Christian, but the idea here is for any seekers who are listening in on this sermon series, they're going to realize, okay, well, wait, this is one of the benefits of being a pursuer of God. And it's kind of a tease because we're not telling what their edge is quite yet, but we'll get to that. Before we do, we're going to talk about the fact that stress can have a bad side and a good side. I've got some stuff here from WebMD you can check out. Also, I'm going to probably throw up here this chart from another website that explains the effects of stress on the body. It's kind of an interesting little picture. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this, but it's an interesting picture for people to realize that stress really is an issue. But anyway, the point is that stress has a bad side and a good side. And then the next point is that God is going to use stress to teach us dependence upon him. So then we're going to return back to that story in 2 Chronicles. And again, you should read that whole chapter, make sure that you're able to articulate what's going on in that passage. But we're going to highlight this on a slide where Jehoshaphat prays, "Oh God, won't you stop them? We are powerless against this mighty army that's about to attack us. We do not know what to do." And this is what we're going to key off of here. "We do not know what to do, but we are looking to you for help." So that's the idea that God uses stress to teach us dependence upon him. Jehoshaphat had to depend upon God because of this situation. And of course, if you read the rest of the story, you'll see that they had great victory. And really, the point here isn't that God's going to promise to deliver us from every stressful situation. We don't want to preach health and wealth here. The real point, and this is the last talking point, is that the proper response to stress is to face it, not escape it. And of course, we mean to face it in the strength that God gives us, right? What we tend to do is when stress comes, sometimes we can try to escape it through alcohol or drugs or some other anesthetizing behavior, or we can just try to ignore it altogether. And that's not a good thing. That we should allow stress to be something that draws us closer to God and teaches us then to trust in God to deliver us and to show his great power in our lives. Now, don't forget here at the bottom, make sure to check out some of these other links and downloads. We'll have a bonus video. This is the series promo to make sure to show the week before you start this series. So this is for February 21st. Make sure to use that at your church if possible. This is the bonus video. This is the download that you can use. I would recommend you show this series intro. It's just a short, kind of a funny series intro to get you going before you get into the sermon. And also don't forget to check out all of this related content as you prepare this particular sermon. Now don't forget to check in the comments below for sermon notes, other useful information as we're prepping this sermon series. And also, if you want to leave some of your notes, if you want to share a link to your notes, or if you have questions, or if you just have some insights that will make this sermon better, that's what the Google Plus community is all about. So share all of that in the links below. And I hope all these resources help to alleviate your stress as you start prepping this sermon series.